All right, first episode, Embrace Debate. We're here. We're going to go around the ring, introduce ourselves, start off the host, the co-captain, founder. I'm going to go by Niffy. All these guys call me Niffy, so that's what we're going to go by. Tony, what's up, brother?
Hey, I'm Tony Paveda. I am a baseball player at Oswego, and I work in footwear with the boys. And that's pretty much all I got.
Jimbo?
All right, my name's Jimmy Harrigan. If you're wondering, I lost my front tooth partying at SUNY Cortland, where I.
Wait! You lost it again?
Oh yeah.
We'll get into this.
The temp fell out. It's actually right over here.
Okay, Harry.
Jimbo's about to get half a visit from the Tooth Fairy.
I'm Harrison Campito, just finishing up my junior year, professional softball, beer league softball player, and I like to party.
Billy.
Billy, Susan named me William, but people call me Billy. Just an avid sports fan. Finishing up at Cortland next year. Nothing else to it.
All right, so basically what we're going to do probably once a week, maybe more. We're all bored as hell, chilling in quarantine. Basically, all we're doing is playing the show. The show's been out for about 2 weeks, and Will's already a level 16 diamond.
42, don't cut me short.
42 diamond, so we're going to get right into it. First off, we got the Astros. Jimmy's a Met fan, but he's wearing an Astros jersey. Boys, thoughts on the scandal? What do we got?
Oh, I'll go first, please. I get the punishments. Like, you couldn't punish the players, MLBPA rules. You had to offer immunity. I get that. Not getting the manager suspended for a year, having the GM suspended for a year, eventually have them fired. Good. That's fine. But not taking away the title, the players pretty much got away with it. The players, they keep the money, they keep the rings, they keep the trophy, they keep everything about that World Series run. That is the one thing that they should have done that they did not.
Now, here's the thing I don't get with the immunity. In a normal investigation, like criminally, right? So you got an armed robbery. If you testify, they take that statement. They're not going to give you immunity because you testified about it. So why do players in the MLB get immunity for testifying about it? You know what I mean?
It's all about the union. They have to stay with the players no matter what.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's why when there's all this debate about the 95% of the players who are pissed off at the Astros versus the 5%, why is the union 5%? Legally, it's what they have to do. And they could see the flaws that the MLB did in their investigation, and both that and what the Astros management did and the whole scandal. They knew they couldn't touch the players, so might as well try to get everything out and try to at least figure out everything that happened. And if you got to let the players go, it's just what you have to do.
Yeah, I'm fine. We'll get into the Red Sox thing, but for them to, one, not take away the title, and then two, as soon as they punish the Astros, they say Cora's getting more than everybody else, and then he gets the same exact thing. It's probably going to be in baseball next year. It's not a good look.
I think on top of all this, too, I don't think they should be allowed in the Hall of Fame after an act like that. I agree with all the other punishments, but I'd say Pete Rose can't be in the Hall of Fame. Take away all the Astros.
No, I see what you mean, too. Another thing. Okay, go ahead, Jimmy.
All the Astros?
That were on
Let's be real. How many of the Astros right now?
There aren't any right now that I'm saying are surefire lock Hall of Famers.
Justin Verlander?
Well, Verlander's a pitcher. And he was only there half the season. But then there's the thing. It's where do you draw the line with some of these?
Exactly. Because if you look at it right now, the Hall of Famers they have on that team potentially.
There's one.
Altuve's on the D.
There's one. No, there's one.
Verlander.
Altuve's a potential. You got
outside of Verlander, there's one. And it's
now there's one definitive one.
Bregman's been in the league 3 years.
Yeah,
that's the point.
He's had a good couple 3 years.
Yeah, but would you say that
All-Star in 3 years?
Would you say that Judge is a potential is a surefire Hall of Fame? No, exactly. I can't. You're not going to give someone.
Judges also came into league at 25.
I get that. I'm not.
Bregman's played 3 years and he's just turning 25.
Bregman's not a Hall of Fame.
He's the only player on that roster outside of Justin Verlander that has a chance to be in the Hall of Fame. In my opinion.
Altuve.
If you win an MVP, you're at least gonna get some votes.
Altuve's also going to hit 3,000 hits in his
Yeah,
career.
but now there's the asterisk on that MVP.
And also remember that too, but also remember the 2017 team, Carlos Beltran was on that team, and he has numbers that are potential Hall of Fame.
Is Beltran a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Well, the numbers, yes, but all the reports say that he and
Yeah, but
Cora-
Beltran was only there for a year.
Beltran's 45 years old.
But he's
yeah,
only
but that
there
was
for
the
a
year. That was the year when it happened, 2017, because it was him and Cora that brought in the scheme. Because maybe he was doing it for years before. You see, that's what happens. If you really could a player just come up with a scheme his very last season, because then you have to put a little bit of asterisk around his entire career, thinking that he could have been doing something before.
What's
the
your opinion
technology-
on guys that
technology
were
wasn't
called
that
steroids?
advanced then.
No, it was because even as a Yankees
There
fan,
was not
they
instant
said that
replay
the
back
Yankees were
back
doing the
then.
same thing.
Yeah, but the Yankees were doing it outside different ways with Apple Watches and different relay information. There was no instant replay and no ability to have cameras outside that are relaying information legally, I would say. Because that wasn't an option. It's like the same thing that we'll touch on with the Red Sox stuff. They're making it seem like this film guy did everything on his own and was just doing it just to try and help the team. And he seems like he's taking more slack than Cora and the other people involved in it.
So back to like the Hall of Fame talk and stuff like that. What's your opinion on like steroid guys then? If you think that guys that cheated to win, obviously, they shouldn't be considered for the Hall of Fame. What are your opinions on steroids, that guys?
I personally don't give a flying fuck. Barry Lamar Bonds is the best baseball player to ever play baseball, and he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you still got to make contact with the ball. Like, Barry Bonds before steroids. We don't know exactly when he took them. But
One big problem right now, too, is there are guys that are either known steroid guys or suspected steroid guys that are in the Hall of Fame. So
There's definitely somebody in the Hall of Fame now that's been
Pudge.
using
Pudge is
steroids.
the
It's
guy
all-
that like
Pudge.
clearly took steroids.
Jeff Bagwell.
Jeff Bagwell, yeah, that's another
Piazza
one.
has suspicion.
So
We
let's
could go
go.
down
So
the
we'll
line
say
of lists.
Suspicion.
Bonds Hall of Famer.
Barry Bonds is the best baseball player to ever play baseball, and it should be in the Hall of Fame.
Mark McGuire.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why not
No.
Mark McGuire?
Mm-mm. Mark McGuire's peak baseball career and the steroids turned him into a superstar player.
Yes.
Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, these guys were already top tier baseball players before, and this just kind of added to their legacy.
And the other thing with
Mark
Barry Bonds is
McGuire
that-
was a 235 bomb hitter, hitting solely home runs, and then turning into now he's hitting 50, 60 homers a season.
And the other thing with Barry Bonds is that before that, he was still like a 30-30 guy getting 30 home runs at 30 stolen bases. He was on,
Gold glove outfielder.
and then he saw McGuire and Sosa were doing it. They were getting all the attention away from him, and then that's when he started doing his thing with steroids and
Mm-hmm.
cap sizes up by like 3 sizes and hitting balls to the moon and back. So
What about pitchers though? Like
he has a little more credibility.
Clemens, Pettit.
No.
Guys like that.
Mm-mm.
What's
I think Clemens will
the difference between a
probably
pitcher and a
should
hitter
be
then?
in. I don't think Pettit would get in. even
Regardless,
if
yeah.
He didn't. So.
Okay, so Roger Clemens is arguably top 5 of all time.
Top 5 pitcher of all time, probably up there, top 5, top 10.
The
Exactly.
pitching version of Bonds.
He wins 7 Cy Youngs. Pretty damn good.
Okay,
Yeah, but
so
how
are
many
you,
of them were
but Jimmy
post-
said no.
How many of those Cy Youngs were post steroids?
Yeah, it's kind of a gray area.
Literally
Nobody really
impossible
knows
to
when he
know.
4 or
started.
5?
Still a
winning-
2-time Cy Young
still
winner.
winning
Like that's
2 or
still,
3 Cy Youngs. I think you're definitely in the conversation. Carlos Pena got Hall of Fame votes this year.
Did Carlos Pena get in the Hall of Fame?
He got votes.
Yeah, that wasn't the question.
I'm just saying, like,
It's another conversation.
Is Clemens still getting votes?
yeah, he's.
Yeah.
I don't even get- I
He's
don't know
around
if
six-
he's
gonna get in.
eligible.
He's about like 58%. I don't think he's going to get in.
What about Schilling?
No.
Schilling's one of the best postseason
Yep.
pitchers of all time. So
Did
he'd
he-
probably be it.
Did he even get proven to take steroids?
I think the things
He's
that
one of those gray area guys.
I
Yeah,
think
they-
I think the media just hates him because he's spoken about some crazy ass shit.
He's
But,
also a communist in disguise.
well, that's
We'll
why.
also hate him for his social media posts. I get that too. All right, so moving on. Red Sox. Punishment too light. We all in agreement?
I don't give a shit. They didn't do
Nope.
anything really that affected
really.
the game. They didn't do anything more than what the Yankees, any other team is doing probably right now. So I don't really give a shit. They got punished. probably more than they really even should have.
What exactly was Cora's suspension?
Corey got the same
Same
thing.
as Hinch.
Banned from baseball for the 2020 season and is eligible to return in 2021.
So the
So
same.
that's
So
yeah,
essentially the same thing as Hinch.
and that's the controversy because if the season gets canceled,
He's still eligible to come back next year.
right.
so there's really no suspension. And
Yeah.
I guarantee you, the Red Sox will hire him.
My thing is MLB made this sound like it was more of a thing for this replay guy that was distributing stuff, and he's banned from his position in the organization through this year, and he's allowed to come back into baseball in 2021, but just not as the same title. So this guy is essentially taking the heat because they're giving him more of a penalty than the manager of the team that's orchestrating the stuff for now 2 different organizations.
That's what I don't get about Cora is that Cora now did it twice, but Hinch, one, said that he didn't condone it, but come on.
Well, there's reports that Hinch was destroying the setups on multiple occasions to try and hinder it.
Still, if that's the case and you know who's doing it, why not get rid of him?
You know
'Cause they
how
were winning.
hard of a predicament that puts him in?
They're winning. That's the reason why they didn't. That's the reason why they didn't stop it. If it was working, then why stop it? Because it's wrong. I mean,
It's working and they weren't getting caught.
yes, that's true. That's why the Astros were saying sorry, is because it was working and they weren't getting caught. Hinch was going to let it keep going as long as possible. He could say he was upset by it, but there's so much. Really, he was condoning it by letting it go on. He can say how angry he is the whole time. If you're going to let it keep going, then who gives a fuck?
His press conference was horrible. That press conference after Game 3
Yeah, 3 in New York.
in
The whistle,
17 in New York, where he was like complaining about whistles and all that stuff.
Mhm.
That was horrendous. And then for him to for what he said, then for him to come out in that interview with Verducci, I think
Yeah.
it was on MLB Network, that just made it worse. The Astros made themselves look horrible in their press conferences. In my
Jim
opinion,
Crane, yeah.
stealing signs is just – it goes on. It happens. Let's be real. We've all played baseball at some level. We're all – at second base, we're all looking in to see what they're throwing. How many people are going to
That's different, though.
That's gamesmanship. That's not like going. There's
Right.
nothing that catches
As you
you
two,
with the
as
Astros.
Trevor and Tony know, you see some guy getting a sign stolen as a pitcher. What are you going to do the next time he's up?
Bonk 'em.
Go
I'm
set third sign. There's ways to avoid it.
I'm going to make him regret that 72-mile-an-hour fastball and putting it in his back. It's
Still bringing it up there at 72, eh, Niff?
Yeah, it sounds kind of weak.
that-
If I tried to throw 72 right now, he'd actually be an amputee of the arm.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Universal designated hitter. It's been thrown around. In my opinion, absolutely worth it. Gives more guys a shot. And I've never been to I've been to one National League game, and it was interleague. It was Mets Rays, and Steven Matz pitched. So Steven Matz can hit, right, Jim?
All the Mets pitchers could rake. That's why, from my opinion, the Mets construct of the roster, it would be glorious to have a designated hitter with that lineup. We got like 3 or 4 guys on the team right now that don't have a definite position in the field.
Robbie
We
Cano.
got Dom Smith, who is a decent first baseman, but we have Pete Alonso, so you're not going to ever play first. We have J.D. Davis, who really can't play a position at all. You got Yoenis Cespedes coming back. Well, who knows if he's actually coming back. And then Brandon Nimmo is really not a great outfielder in any position defensively. Really not that great of a player offensively either, but I don't know. I think the DH would help. Also, we have Robinson Cano, who's 55 years old, I believe now. So would help to get maybe McNeil sliding over to second base, open up some options for somebody else.
The way I look at it, though, too, is from like a fan's perspective is to go to Yankee Stadium now, it's what, like $100? Like if you total it all together where you're looking at like seat, food, drinks, everything, I'm paying like $100 for one person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to watch Blake Snell pick up a bat. You know, like if I'm a Yankee fan, obviously I want Luke Boyd and all those guys. But if I'm at an NL stadium, I don't want to watch a pitcher hit. I want to watch the pitcher pitch. I want to watch a hitter's hit.
There's a huge difference between baseball fans and then people who will just tune in to watch a baseball game. I'd say about 75% of the crowd going to a game has some sort of an interest in the game. They're
Yep.
pulling up to a stadium knowing a pitcher's going to hit. Now how exciting it is. Probably one of the most infamous plays over the last 5-6 years was when Bartolo Colon took James Shields deep in San Diego.
Okay, but
It's still talked about today. The guy hasn't been relevant in baseball since probably that year, because it was the last year he was an all-star too. But yeah, it's still talked about. It's still brought up every year on the MLB network for the top plays of the decade or whatever. To me, it brings in sort of an excitement because these guys are athletes. These pitchers are athletes, and if they don't get the chance to show it defensively, they get to show how they swing the bat and stuff on offense as well. And like I said, it's probably biased from my understanding because the Mets really don't have a bad hit. I mean, they might now with Waka and Porcello, but over the last 5-6 years, Matt Harvey, Steven Matz, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Wheeler, all these guys have hit homers, multiple homers. So it's really, I would say, kind of biased on my end. Like, there's do's and don'ts, especially as a Mets fan.
Yeah, on
Tony,
top-
as a pitcher, someone who's pitching in college, if you're in the middle of a game and you're pitching, what's the last thing you want to think about?
I want to focus on pitching the game and not come up to the plate. No.
The last thing I want to think about is pulling a hamstring and rounding to first base.
Pat Masahiro Tanaka, double torn hammies.
Did he feel
Min Wong, whatever happened to him?
I don't need pitchers getting hurt because they have to run the bases. I don't need it.
I don't know. I think if you're a good enough hitter, you're going two ways. You got a couple guys right now like Michael Lorenzen and Shohei Ohtani. They're doing it both ways. If you're good enough to hit,
I get Ohtani's a whole different story. You can't put Ohtani into a.
okay as well, yes.
But on the baseball fan perspective, there's definitely more strategy involved with the DH or without the DH, like using bench bats, like
Double switches.
game. Yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, if I'm watching interleague, I feel like it's a whole different sport at sometimes with double
Yeah.
switches and whatnot. You're not seeing that in the normal Yankees Red Sox game.
That's why NL managers, in my opinion, are
Also-
so much better than AL managers.
It's also a disadvantage for these National League teams in the playoffs because in their minds, do you carry an extra hitter that you're going to have to somewhat need to have a pinch hit at bat, to have a double switch opportunity? Like I remember the year the Mets were in the World Series, they were consistently bringing in Juan Lagares and guys in the 7th, 8th inning to come and play defense for 2-3 innings. Where if they're in the American League, they don't really need that. You go out and get guys that can play that
Yankees
position
doing that
every
for
day,
us
and
this
then you
season
can
last
carry
year
an
with
extra
Cameron
pitcher or two on your roster.
The Yankees were doing that with Cameron Maybin last year during the playoffs. He came in the 9th inning of Game 3 of the ALDS and hit a homer.
There's a difference between coming in the 9th inning of a game and coming in the 7th inning for an at-bat and then playing 3 innings of defense. That's a waste of at least one pitcher, and then a double switch is taking another position player out and then adding another player, and that's 3-4 players automatically off your bench.
No, I mean, I see both ways. Would I want to see a universal DH? I would honestly. I'd like to see a DH in the NL. Like I said, you get 26 guys on the roster now, don't you?
Yeah, this
Isn't that
year's
the new rule?
26.
Yeah, this
I mean,
year's
it's going to be
26.
probably like 40 with the whole Corona situation, but
Probably. You're probably playing double headers.
you're not playing. I mean, you're not literally playing with full 40, but you're not playing with a normal 26 man.
Yeah, you're
gonna
probably
need
playing
four
30.
extra guys, probably.
30 guys on a roster.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
I mean, but the thing, if they're doing all these, I don't know what there's been a couple different plans where they're all just kind of quarantined in one city. You're probably should just have a 40-man roster because if somebody gets hurt, it's better to have the 40 men there than have to fly some guy in and have him tested and whatnot.
yeah, 100%.
It's true.
And on the other side, Universal DH, give it to me for my Diamond Dynasty team. I don't need a pitcher hitting.
Amen.
There. We'll get into that later. Jimmy, you wanted to bring up the topic of playoff expansion. Now, me as a huge Trevor Bauer fan, I laughed when I saw this, and then I laughed even more after what Trevor Bauer said about it, where he was like comparing it to The Bachelor and all that shit. How many teams, if you saw playoff expansion, how many teams do you see it coming to?
I don't care if
Adding-
they're expanded. I just care that if you're making a team pick another team to play, it's the stupidest
No,
thing.
that will never happen. There's no way that the MLB Player Association will ever allow any sort of picking and kind of ranking. Do I think they'll ever cross paths? No. I think it's still going to be the American League and the National League. But if they create a universal DH, why do we even have leagues anymore?
Point.
Well, there's an East and a West, and there's an AFC and an NFC. And
Right, but would you go
True.
East West like NHL and NBA?
No, you can still look at football. It's AFC, NFC. You can still say AL and NL. What's the difference?
I mean, I wouldn't hate doing the NBA model. They're technically all in divisions, and it would be that way to make the playoffs.
Mhm.
But it'd be pretty cool to see your team play every team like the NBA does.
The thing is, you'd have to eliminate divisional games because that's the main concept of that. Because you can't add games to the MLB season because they're already talking about reducing it. So if you're going to play every team in the MLB, and what are you going to play them once? One home, one away game?
I think
I think
play
they-
there's still a
yeah.
162, so I would assume you do like one series somewhere, and then the next year you do the series at the other place.
That's fair.
That sounds like football almost.
I honestly think they should just add one wild card to another wild card game to each
So you want two more
the
teams.
National League and the American League. What did you say?
You would want 4 wild card teams.
No.
Those two games.
There's 3 wild card teams.
Well, the two now. So you're saying add a third card team?
That wouldn't add up.
So we'll do the old football model. So you have teams that get buys, and you have 3 places.
Yep.
So I can work with that model.
No, in that case, there'd be 4 teams playing then.
Will there be an opening round of 4 teams, and then and then
2 teams would get buys.
What is
The
there's
2 teams that get
5
by,
right
so-
now, right?
there's one. Well,
There's 5 teams that make the playoffs.
yes.
Right, so
And
Jimmy
one
said
team
he
technically
wants
gets a bye.
It's like the first 4 the NCAA tournament. It's not really a buy. It's just wait you play.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it.
It just adds more games to an already lengthy season.
It'd be
Well, I
one
don't-
game though. It's a
Well,
one
you
game
do-
series.
Oh, you did
Every
one
single
game?
round in the MLB playoff, except the World Series and the CS, should be 1 or best of 3, in my opinion.
I think if they do
Yeah,
it,
you
if they
get
expand to
something
6, they should do best of 5. No, best of 3. I mean, so the first round best of 3, and then you go back to the traditional model. So you get back to the 4 teams, best of 5. Then for the CS and World Series, you go best of 7.
I'm all for including more teams because the only thing is that I see is that it's not like the NBA has too many teams, but we're not going to get into that. But if you include 2 more teams, so you have 2 wild card games, but then that still leaves you 3 division winners. You'd almost
The
have
team
to
with
add.
the lowest amount of wins out of the 3 division winners has to play a wild card game.
Oh, I see what you mean now.
So instead of in the years past, back a couple years ago when a team would just have to get into the playoffs just because they have to get into the playoffs, now you actually have something to play for the entire season
I love the idea
instead
of
of just trying to get the number 1 seed.
The wild card games are the best thing that the MLB has put in.
Mhm.
Not a fan. Causes heart attacks for me about every time the Yankees play in it. So
Well, it doesn't help when Sevy gives up 3 runs in the first inning.
I like the wild card game.
Well, I
love
mean,
that.
speak as a national fan, I expect that.
Shut up, Tony. Tony had a great year of sports, and it's
Tony loves Christian Yelich's kneecap strength.
Oh my god, greatest thing of the year. Christian Yelich is a stud.
And Trent Grisham's Down syndrome in right field.
That did help out. He also had the greatest teenager in MLB history, even though he was 20 at that point. But
Juan Soto's a stud.
he is.
Juan Soto is going to be a Hall of Famer. Mark that.
Oh. Not right.
You're talking Soto's going to be a Hall of Famer already, but Bregman won't?
Yeah, let's
He's
not.
gonna be.
Oh God.
Soto was just
A little
statistically
early.
teenager in MLB history. Better than Griffey, better than A-Rod, better than all these guys.
Nah, I'm not.
He's
No,
also probably not actually 19. He's probably like 23. Lying about his age like all these foreign players do nowadays.
Yeah, I did hear that he's actually 23. I do have a source that told me that, but
I just made that up and I got the right number right.
But one of my boys like knows a connection to like Juan Soto and is like international, like whatever went on there, and apparently he is 23.
Not uncommon for them to do it.
What you're telling me is the Yankees could have Jason Dominguez in center in a couple years.
22. He's probably already 22.
Jason Dominguez is a grown man.
Yeah, he is.
No way, that man's 16 or 17, whatever they say he is.
Fuck that.
Dude, it's a house.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I'm trying to find. Where did I put my predictions? On my desktop.
You go in division predictions?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to go into next.
Want me to start it out?
So we'll
Yeah.
start in the NL East.
You want to just go east, east, central, central, west, west?
You want to just do that, or you want to go through the NL first and then the AL?
Let's go NL, then AL.
So East, Central, West. How about that?
East, Central, West. We'll start with the NL East. Tony.
And wild cards and stuff.
All right. NL
We'll do
East.
the playoffs after.
Braves first, Nats second, Phillies third, Mets fourth, Marlins fifth.
Oh, we're going in order? I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go with the winners.
Oh, I was one of winners as well. I didn't know we were I think
I'll go
Tony
winner.
put in the extra work. I've only got quite a half.
Yeah, I would definitely – you said Braves to win it, right? I think Braves won it last year. They're only getting better with age. And, even though I think they'll win it, the Mets probably have the best roster in that division, but the Mets are going to Mets.
I have the Mets coming in fourth.
Oh. I got
Philadelphia is going to have a great team this year.
Yeah, they've only said that for the last 7 years about the fourth place Phillies.
Yeah, but bro, I'm.
Oh, Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi
I
signed
hate
80
when I hate
reports.
Joe Girardi, so don't even put that on me. I am the least.
So why are they better than the Mets? What did they do that is better than what the Mets have on their roster?
They finally have a shortstop.
And they had Mean
Okay.
Gene the Hit Machine last year.
Who?
Don't sleep
Mean
on
Gene the Hit Machine.
Gene Segura? We're giving Gene Segura why the Phillies are better than the Mets?
No, he's saying that they didn't have a shortstop, and that's why they're
They
going to be
don't.
better.
He's
And they did have a
he
shortgirl.
had a negative WAR at short last year. So they
Right,
needed a
Didi
shortstop.
Gregorius is probably his top
No,
7.
nah. Shut up.
You're just a Mets fan. I don't hear it. Aaron Nola's only getting better. Signed
Worse
Zach
year last
Wheeler.
year than he did the year before.
Huh?
That makes sense.
What'd you say?
I said he had a worse year last year than he did the year before when he came in third for the Cy Young. But okay.
Well, yeah, it's hard to top third for the Cy Young in the NL.
What about winning the Cy Young 2 years in a row?
That's DeGrom. But you can't go 9-11 and win the Cy Young. You just can't. You can't have it.
DeGrom had a losing record and won the Cy Young 2 years ago. so
I'm saying
that's interesting.
if you're going to have a pitcher like Jake DeGrom, I need him winning more than 9 games.
He won the Cy Young.
Your offense did that to him.
No, the defense did as well. And now the Mets are scoring more runs. All right, Harry, it's your turn. Harry, you're up. NL East.
I didn't
No,
go in
honestly,
order,
divisions
but
might not be a thing.
Hmm?
Divisions might not be a thing this year.
Yeah, don't even bring that up because that'll never happen.
yeah, I don't believe that. But anyway, all right. So
Let the teams of the AL East decide that the new Yankees division is going to have the Pirates, the Blue Jays, the Phillies, and the Hudson Valley Community College Vikings in their division.
Hey, one,
Wow.
roll Vikes.
let's just assume that's not going to happen. NL East, I'm going to go with Braves. They lost Donaldson. That's a big loss, but I think adding Ozuna, it's not quite Donaldson, but he's still a good player. Acuna's only going to get better. Ozzy Albies are going to get young pitchers. And I just see this team winning like 95 wins again.
Don't sleep on Jan Camargo filling in for Donaldson at third base.
Yeah,
And
you don't want me to
No,
you
he's
don't
not
want me
going
to
to
take a
play
nap for
third.
8 hours on that bum. He's not
He's
even
going
going
to
to
play
play.
third. It's going to be Austin Riley, probably.
Austin Riley. Well, Austin Riley's utility. He could also
They're gonna,
I thought he was
They're
going to play in
gonna
the
put
outfield.
Hmm?
I thought Riley was going to play in the outfield.
no,
He came
Ozuna,
up as a third
Inciarte, and Acuna is going to be their
Oh, they
outfield.
still have Inciarte.
I wouldn't-
Braves are still winning it. Nats coming in second.
My turn.
Go ahead.
Metropolitans
the
coming
New
in
York-
first place. Winning the
I'm
World
thinking
Series.
the New York Metropolitans.
What?
Because they finally have depth out, even with the Syndergaard injury. They still have depth at the starting pitching. We're not going to have guys like Chris Flexen and Walker Lockett coming up and pitching when we have injuries. They added a very good arm in a healthy Dylan Betances to their bullpen. We're going to assume Edwin Diaz isn't going to be the Edwin Diaz of 2019, which could solidify the Mets of having the best 1, 2, 3 in the bullpen, arguably in baseball, if all three of those guys are at the top of their game. I think Pete Alonso is just going to come back and have a better year than he had last year. I think this is Michael Conforto's breakout year in right field. I think he's going to be healthy, finally, play 160 games, be an NL All-Star.
The problem with this argument is it's a lot dependent on health, is what I'm hearing, and we're talking about the Metropolitans.
I mean, Conforto still played over 140 games.
You're expecting Pete Alonso to have a better year than last year?
If he hits around 47 home runs and hits around 280 and drives in 120, he's having a better year than 53 homers.
Yeah, but you're saying 47 home runs with de-juiced baseballs. Who knows what's going to happen?
Who knows how many
We're gonna
games?
act like Pete Alonso was hitting wall scrapers last year.
I mean, not all of them are going friggin' 450.
They play in Arizona, though. They might.
Yeah.
His average home run distance last year was over 415 feet.
All right.
All right. NL Central. What do you got?
St. Louis Cardinals.
Really? Big Cardinals guy?
Not even.
I hate the Cardinals.
Alda Young not breakout, but he'll have a good season. I think Jack Flaherty will continue what he did in the second half. And
Flaherty's gross.
he's
Flaherty
disgusting.
could have won it, Cy Young.
He could have.
If he had a decent first half, he
His
probably
second
would have
half,
won it.
dude,
His
I
second half
was
was
that's I
disgusting.
have him on my fantasy team. He had a whip under 1 for like the entire year.
People also forget about Alex Reyes. They still have him.
They don't even know if he's going to be a starter.
I think he's gonna be a setup man. I think he's gonna be setting up Jordan Hicks.
Yeah. And
They might make him their closer if
100
Hicks is inconsistent. Have Andrew Miller and Hicks set up Alex Reyes.
And then you also have Carlos Martinez in that bullpen. I mean, this is part of the reason.
He's
I
back to the
think Carlos
rotation.
Martinez is starting.
They're gonna put him
Back
back
to
in
the
rotation.
starting rotation.
I mean, a 1, 2, 3 of Martinez was really good a couple years ago. So him, Flaherty, and McCollus is not a horrible 3, along with Wainwright still got a little bit left in the tank.
Dakota Hudson on the cover.
That's what. Yeah, it's not.
That's
He's
I'm
not
a
good.
big fan of Dakota Hudson.
I think he had
Pete
some.
Alonso hit 2 450 homers off of that guy last year in St. Louis.
The NL Central to me is just a clusterfuck.
I agree.
Oh, yeah, they're all
Anyone
going
can
to
win
kill
this
each other.
division any given year.
I think this is the worst division in baseball.
I
Is that,
think a
is
lot
that,
of
is that because like, anyone can win it, or is it just
Well, I don't. I
Because
think. I think we
top
have.
to bottom, you could argue that they're the most competitive division outside of the AL East.
The
I think
Pirates.
no,
Kill each other.
honestly, in my opinion, I think this
That's
is
just the Pirates, though. That's 4 teams in the division that could essentially win every single year.
But the Brewers lost so many pieces from their team last year, especially their second best hitter, Yasmani Grandal. I mean, you lose.
And their third best there in Moustakas.
Yeah, they lost Moustakas. Lorenzo Cain's just getting older. That team is not going to be good.
I feel bad for Yelich because Yelich just went from one bad situation to a decent situation. Now it just sucks.
he could have got out of it if he wanted to. He just signed an extension.
That's why I don't have any sympathy for some of
All
those
he
guys.
has to do nowadays is ask to get traded. So
Yeah.
extension's just getting your bread at this point. Don't matter if you sign an extension or not. All you have to do is ask to get traded in sports nowadays, and teams just do it.
That division's just like average. Like you're not gonna have any team in that division winning over like 95 games.
95 is a lot. I think. I don't
95's a
think
lot of games.
90. I think 91 wins that division.
I agree
I
with
think the
Terry.
Cincinnati Reds win that division this year.
I
That's
think
my
they're gonna be
pick
good.
for the NL Central is the Cincinnati Reds.
I think the Cincinnati Reds have the best 1 to 8 offensively in that entire division outside of Jesse Winker. Fuck Jesse Winker. And I think they have the best rotation in the division.
Bauer, Sonny, who else is in that
Castillo.
rotation?
Castillo.
Miley.
Castillo's disgusting. Castillo's
very
a
good.
good Yankee, FYI.
Wade Miley too.
Wade Miley
he
was
was-
the
He
underside
was
of
a
my
fluke.
balls.
He was a fluke last year.
He's still a 5 in Cincinnati.
Fair.
Amir
And
Garrett.
Descalfani is the 4.
They got a nasty bullpen. They're like you said, Jim. Their lineup is gross.
They have what? Their outfield is what now? They have Senzel in center. They have
Castellanos.
Castellanos,
Castellanos and
Is Aquino starting for them?
Aquino in left.
Aquino, and then Winkler filling in places.
I feel like Aquino is like Pedro Serrano for Major League. You throw him a
Yeah,
curveball, it's
he
just
r-
not going anywhere.
I disagree. I thought he hit the off-speed ball decent at the end of the year.
Well, he hit like 11 home runs and like 12 at bats to start his career
Mhm.
because no one knew who he was. Like, oh, here's a fastball.
You realize after a guy hits the ball 445 feet off you not to throw him a fastball again.
Not necessarily.
Why, that happened to you before?
Yo,
Like a
big
true speaking like a true pitcher.
Justin Germain.
Shout out Dustin, Gaga.
Don't need to talk about that now, West.
Yeah,
Dodgers.
it's the Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Who's
Wild
fighting for
cards.
second? Who's fighting for second?
San Diego Padres.
Yeah,
Diamondbacks.
I put the Padres as well.
Diamondbacks don't have that pitching anymore, Harry. They added
Madison Bumgarner.
Stop. Come on.
I mean, he's not number one, but he's good.
He's their number one, though.
Zach Gallen's nice.
No, he's
Robbie Ray's not horrible.
I mean, I can't make that.
Robbie
argument.
Ray won't be a Diamondback for the whole year, though.
Probably.
You don't
Probably
think
not.
he can get traded.
Yes.
He could definitely be
Yeah,
traded.
Archie Bradley will probably get traded eventually. The only thing they really have going for them out in Arizona is Ketel Marte, in my opinion.
I think I might be switching my pick. Right now I have Dodgers, Rockies, Padres, but I think the Padres are going to come in second.
Rockies.
I like the Rockies. No, I like their lineup.
Shout out Jeff Hoffman.
I
They
really
got two
Beat
hit-
their left side.
hitters. They got two guys.
Yeah.
Three.
Yeah, three. Chuck
Daniel
Nasty.
Murphy in Colorado.
Three. What are you talking about? Blackman?
Chuck Nasty.
No. Arenado, Trevor Story, David Dahl.
David Dahl's gross.
Chuck Nasty is still a solid hitter. He'll do some damage.
He can hit.
But are we going to assume Arenado stays in Colorado?
What'd you say?
Who knows if Arenado's going to stay in Colorado?
He's not going
think
to
it
get
would've
traded. He's
happened.
not going to get traded in season. The contract's
Yeah.
super in season.
It would have happened.
What
It would've
season
happened
are
in
we
the
having
offseason.
now?
It would be
We're
an
not
off
having a
season.
season.
All
We're
right.
gonna have to.
So
We're
what?
gonna
We're projected to 2021.
You never know.
Mookie Betts may not be on the Dodgers in 2021.
All
Let's
it takes is for Manfred to
No,
get
Mookie Betts will
coronavirus
be
and
on
the
the
league
Dodgers
gets put on hold.
I mean, for this, let's just assume it's 2020.
Going to another division who I'm assuming everyone's going to agree with, the AL East. Is it the Yankees division to lose?
Yankees.
Jimmy,
Rays are the number one
Jimmy,
wild
if you
card.
say the Rays right now, you're never coming back on this podcast.
I'm not an idiot.
Rays are number one wild card, no doubt.
Number one
They
wild
have-
card.
Yeah.
Yankees division to lose
Actually, I disagree. I have them at the number 2 wild card, and I'll tell you why.
behind like Oakland or something.
No.
Don't even bring up the most overrated baseball team in baseball.
Who? Oakland?
No. The
AL
Cleveland
Central.
Indians.
Oh,
Well, let's go to
Cleveland.
Central.
Cleveland is very mediocre.
Central.
Yeah.
I got a surprise one for the Central. I think the White Sox are going to win.
I love the White Sox, too. I took them in our
Yeah, how did that go for you?
4-13.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not helping my case.
If they get a pitcher, dude, I'm telling you, they're going to be disgusting. Watch out
Well,
for
like-
my guy Jimmy Cordero. He throws a 98 or 99 mile an hour sinker.
Well, it's
It's
Michael
the Twins hit the most home runs ever in a season, and they added a
Twins are going to
30
win
home
the
run
division.
guy to their-
The Twins
Yeah,
are going to win the division.
You're gonna win. I put White Sox at 2.
Yep, I agree with that.
The Indians will come in second and win 82 games.
The
I put-
Indians, Mike Clevenger is getting traded. Mike Clevenger will not be an Indian by the end of the season.
That's bold.
Well, he's getting up there. He's 27, 28.
I think he's 30.
And he's
agree.
older than Bauer.
Here, I look
Bauer's
it up.
29.
Yeah, Bauer's old.
Yeah.
Him and Cole were at UCLA at the same time.
Bieber. Yeah, they got drafted in the same year.
Clevenger's 29.
Clevenger's 29 too.
Yes.
So he'll be 30 at some point.
If you
Yeah,
haven't
it's
seen-
not to the end of the year.
If you haven't seen the Bauer bites with Clev and Trev, I highly suggest you watch it. It is hilarious.
They're very funny.
They talk about when Clev throws up on the mound at the end of a rehab start. It is.
Threw in a heater, got a little cocky.
He said he drank 2 iced coffees before a start where it was like 113 degrees. And then he threw in a lip in the 3rd inning of his last rehab start. And he ended up puking on the field coming off the mound.
Oh my god.
Which, like, I couldn't imagine doing that. AL West. I will start this and say I have the Oakland Athletics winning the division.
I agree.
Wow, I did not expect that.
I think the Astros are still very talented and will win.
We're gonna act like the Astros don't have talent. Even like, don't get me wrong. It's the same reason you guys said with the steroid users. You can know what pitch is coming. It still takes athletic ability and talent to be able to hit the ball and produce the numbers that they still do.
You still,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
yes, you still have to like. I'm
Well-
gonna say if I don't know a fastball's coming and I have to hit a slider, like that's different because I can keep myself back.
True.
I'd say yes, but to a different extent.
Well, I mean, some of the things I've heard, like Clevenger was talking about the Astros, their biggest problem is that they could have won that World Series on their talent alone.
They
Yeah.
could've.
And you're just taking away Garrett Cole, who wasn't
They were-
even on that 2017 roster and wasn't as good back in 2017.
Well, also that bullpen, they lost Will Harris, their setup man, and also Justin Verlander got injured at the beginning of the year. So I mean, he's healthy now. He's recovering from
Yeah,
this.
he'll be healthy by
And
like,
they lost Wade Miley as well. He was really good for them last year. So I think
The only one that I know that they brought up to replace Miley was Jose Urquidy, who started in the World Series.
Whitley's not too far away. I don't know what
He'll be one of those guys that gets called up eventually.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Mid-season.
what the Cubs and the Mets. Well, not the Mets actually. What the Cubs did with Bryant, the Mets didn't do with Pete Alonso. He'll be up eventually.
Yankees did it to Glaber.
you just want that extra year.
All right, so playoffs in the NL. I have the Dodgers in order: Dodgers, Braves, Reds, Nationals, Cardinals. So my wild card game is Cardinals Nationals, and I have the Nationals winning that.
Mine's similar, just swap the Cardinals and the Reds. So I got the Nats playing the Reds in the wild card and the Nats beating them.
Okay, so we still both have Nats in the DS.
Give me an NL East wild card game. Metropolitans versus the Nats.
Tony don't want that. Tony do not want that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Scherzer
DeGrom.
going for a wild card.
DeGrom does not lose to Max Scherzer. It's a fact.
Can't even argue that.
Max Scherzer is a horrible playoff pitcher.
Well, yeah, that's the question. Start
So is
Scherzer, we
Garrett
start
Cole.
Strasburg. Yeah, Garrett Cole's. Garrett Cole.
I think you give Strasburg the benefit of the doubt, especially after how he pitched.
Shut up.
Nah, you're
You do
picking
not start
for-
Steven Strasburg over Max Scherzer.
You're not signing a guy to a 7-year deal, especially after how he pitched in the playoff, and then not rewarding him with that start.
It
Well, Max
depends how the
Scherzer's
season
also
goes, too.
Max
Like,
Scherzer
right
also
now?
signed a second deal.
Right now, Max Scherzer's starting that game. If
No
Strasburg
shit.
comes out this year and is shoving, he'll start that.
He should start Strasburg. It definitely depends on the season.
He goes out and gives you a 2.5 ERA. You start in that game.
Yeah, like 2017 when the Yankees were in the wild card game, you're not like, oh, Sevy's sure as hell pitching that game. So,
Even
I'll give
18
my-
was up, or 19 was up for discussion, wasn't it?
well, 18 was up for discussion just because he sucked in 17. So,
Yeah, and he pitched.
No,
great.
he also
pitched
18
4
Severino.
innings. Great
18
start
Severino.
by Severino.
Also pretty bad the second half of the season after that historic first half.
So,
Yeah.
Jimmy, you're telling me with the Yankees bullpen that they had in 2018, you're not going to take the ball after 4 innings?
in a winner take all, everything's
That's
available. And
No,
you're pulling
that's
that trigger.
not at all what I'm saying. Is the mindset is that Severino had a great bounce back start in the wild card and he pitched fucking
Oh, no.
4 innings.
Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'm just saying he didn't blow.
He's not
He
like,
didn't
oh,
blow
he
the
just
game.
pitched 4 innings. We have confidence in him to pitch game 2 of the DS now. Like I don't care what any of you Yankee fans say. The Yankees are very not clutch over the last 10, 15 years.
It's not a bad take.
They're not.
I'd
They
be-
just they went their first decade in how long of not reaching a World Series?
Ever.
Do you
Better
think the
decade
Yankees had the
ever.
best team in baseball last year?
No, I think the Astros were better.
Yeah, the Astros had a better team.
The Yankees, everybody was saying it. They didn't have a lockdown pitcher, so they weren't going to.
Well, I'll give my NL playoffs. So I'm gonna say the Dodgers, the 1 seed, the Braves and Cardinals, just like last year, they're gonna play in the divisional game, and the wild card, the Mets are gonna host the Reds in that game.
Do you remember Game 5 when they beat them like 15-1?
Yeah, what
think-
was it? The 11 runs in the first inning.
I remember. So I was
Game-
at work watching that game.
Which Yankees, Red Sox, right?
No,
No.
Braves.
No,
Braves-
Braves Cardinals, where the Cardinals
The Cardinals
top
scored
of the
like
first.
11 or like 8 runs off Fultonavich.
Yeah.
He's overrated too. Talk about a 1-year wonder.
Pulte? Yeah, I agree.
He got sent down last year.
Yeah.
Him.
The A ball to work on
He said-
mechanics.
It was down to
Newcomb
A.
got sent down last year.
So did Paddock. All the way to A ball.
Well, Paddock was
Mechanics and inning restrictions.
What was it? Kyle Freeland got sent down.
Freeland was
Yeah.
horrible.
Freeland's
bad.
trash.
I mean, like you guys said, it's kind of big what ifs with the Mets. I can hope that they're healthy. I just, from 1 to 40, I see the Met, or 1 to 26, I should say. I see the Mets as being the second most complete team in the National League behind the Dodgers.
Well, here's my problem.
I have the Dodgers as my 1 seed, the Mets as the 2, playing the Cardinals, or actually, playing the Reds, and then the wild card game being the Braves and Cardinals.
Okay, well, this is the only problem I have with like your thing. I can understand you are kind of making the assumption that every player in your team is going to play almost at their best, like assuming that Edwin Diaz is going to go back to 2018 Edwin Diaz versus 2019. I'm sure he won't be 2019. That could
But
not.
why wouldn't Garrett Cole go back to Pittsburgh Pirate Garrett Cole now that he's pitching in a smaller ballpark?
Pittsburgh Pirate Garrett Cole.
In a harder division. The Pittsburgh Pirate Garrett Cole is not making $34 million a year.
Houston is a small ballpark. Houston
is not a.
Houston is a
pitcher's
smaller ballpark, but Houston's talent that they face in the divisional games for 19 games a year is the worst in the MLB.
He's a huge guy
No.
that studies
No.
the
AL
AL
still
analytics.
had
West
to
is the
face-
worst division in the MLB.
Yeah, I think the Rangers.
Top to bottom, it's the worst division in the MLB.
No,
I
the Central.
thought it was-
The AL Central last year was garbage with the Tigers.
AL
and the
Central is
Royals.
garbage. Three
Yeah,
teams.
AL
were-
Central's the worst.
They were the worst.
Didn't the Mariners have the worst record in the league? Or the Royals did?
Orioles.
No,
Orioles.
no, it was Tigers. It was Tigers.
Tigers. The Tigers and the Royals
Tigers have the
were
preferred pitchers.
horrendous.
Yeah, and I even think the NL West is worse. Like the Giants were pretty bad last year. The Rockies were pretty bad, and the Padres weren't any good. Garrett Cole down. Like the A's, I think the A's.
That fall off to Seattle and them though.
Well, I mean,
He didn't lose a game after May 20th.
Oh,
Garrett Cole.
Oh,
what's your point?
what
Well,
point
I'm
is
saying he's
One
gonna
game to
face a
Seattle.
harder competition in games the entire season.
Got to win.
He didn't win every game after May 20th, did he?
he didn't lose?
He didn't lose.
Okay, that's a completely different scenario.
I mean,
well, I'm not putting.
Give up. He could give up 5 runs in the first inning, and if the Astros score 5 runs at any point in the game, he doesn't get a loss.
still didn't lose.
It's not necessarily 100% because of him. There's a lot of factors in not getting a loss in pitching.
All right, let's go to the AL.
I have Yankees as the 1, Twins as the 2, Oakland as the 3, Houston as the 4, Tampa as the 5.
I got Yankees 1, Twins 2, Astros 3, Rays 4, White Sox 5. I think the White Sox are going to surprise a lot of people.
Got the same wild card game as last year. Pretty much just chalk, basically, of last year, except maybe the Twins jumped to the 2 seed. But I don't see too much changing in the AL, to be honest.
I don't think the Twins. I think it's going to be the exact same setup as last year.
I got Yankees 1 seed, 2 seed, White Sox 3, Astros host the Rays in the wild card game.
I have Astros hosting the Rays too. I have the Astros winning it.
I think the Rays are going to win it. I would rather have I'd have Blake Snell or Charlie Morton versus Justin Verlander this year, or Zach Greinke, whoever the hell they're going to put up.
Yeah, I'm putting up Greinke in
Still
a
gonna be
limited
JT.
playoff.
Don't forget about Lance McCullers coming back too.
Yeah, that guy can kick rocks.
Curveball king.
He's
I
disgusting.
still can't believe he threw 40 straight curveballs against the Yankees. Or 26. It was 26 was
That
the
was
number.
ridiculous when I heard. I didn't know that. So
Yeah, no.
NLDS, Dodgers Nationals for me. I got the Dodgers winning in 4, and then Braves Reds. The Braves winning in 4.
I got the Mets beating the Cardinals in 4, and then the Dodgers beating the Nationals in 3.
I got the Dodgers beating the Nats, and I got the Braves beating the Cardinals. And the DL.
I have the Dodgers beating the Mets and the Braves beating the Cardinals.
I don't even remember what the matchups were. I got Dodgers coming out of the NL, and I don't give a shit about the rest of them.
I'm with you, Will. I think
That's
we're
fair. I could agree. I believe
Yeah.
I think this is the year to give my prediction away that the Dodgers finally get to that next mark.
AL Yankees Astros. I just think I would hate to see the Astros again in the playoffs. I think the Yankees get over the hump, win in 5, and then Twins A's, Twins in 5.
I would love to see the Astros beat the Yankees in the playoffs this year. Absolutely love to see it.
I would
You
like
are a hater.
Am I supposed to like the Yankees, Harris?
Well, no, but you could be honest.
Yeah.
I am being honest. You know how many of Yankee fans and baseball fans who have no idea what they're talking about would just instantly close their mouths knowing the Astros could beat the Yankees without cheating?
Well, last year, yes, because they have better starting rotation. But when you take the best pitcher off their team and you put them on the Yankees, that's an entirely different story.
The guy and the Astros still have the Cy Young winner from last year, right?
He shouldn't have won it.
Did he win the award or no?
He won it.
Does Garrett Cole
But
have a
he-
Cy Young award?
He doesn't.
Verlander won it by a whopping
Award over
3
Miguel
points.
Lindor.
Verlander won it.
award. You're acting like Verlander didn't deserve as much of a chance at the award.
I say Verlander definitely deserves. 1 or 2. I'm not sure, but he got hurt. That's the thing. There's an injury.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's having an extended offseason right now.
Well, lucky for him. Well, lucky for the Yankees. They got Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and James Paxton rehabbing. So it works.
Yeah. Will, did you
You
hear?
can't count on any of those guys to be healthy ever.
Will, did
you
you happen
re-
to
you
see
really
what
can't.
Boone said about those 3?
What'd you say?
Did you happen to see what Boone said about those 3?
I saw something on my phone. I didn't read about it, though.
Nah.
We go to the LCS. Dodgers over the Braves in 5. Yankees over the Twins in 5. If I see the Twins in the playoffs, I am not scared of them at any point.
You're afraid of the Astros, though.
Yeah, I'm afraid of the Astros. And you're damn right I'm afraid of the Astros, but I'm not afraid of the Twins.
Dodgers beat the Astros in 6 in the World Series this year.
Oh my God.
That's a take.
That's a take.
Embrace debate, as they say.
Embrace the debate. That's a hot take right there. I'll say this. I got the Yankees beating the Rays in 5. That's honestly the team I fear the most in the AL, the Rays, because their pitching, both starting rotation and bullpen, is stacked. I think the A's beat the White Sox in 4 games, and then the Yankees beat the A's in 5. And
The
then,
World Series is coming back to this place. This is where the World Series will be played this year. Coronavirus or not, they're playing in Yankee Stadium because the Yankees are just – they're not losing the Astros. They're not losing the Astros.
Can we put this out there that the Yankees are a big what if team as well? Is that a strong take? Yes, they are.
I think the biggest what if is health, which has been their biggest.
yes, that's the what if. I agree.
Biggest what if in sports?
I agree. But
with a limited roster.
Yeah, how
I
do you
saw
do in the
they did-
playoffs, Trev? It don't matter how many regular season games you win. If you can't win in the playoffs with whomever you have that won 160 games in the regular season, it don't matter.
But the teams they lost,
It does not matter.
the teams they lost in the postseason the last few years, they're not the same teams they were when they lost to them.
Correct. You're not wrong.
That's why you would examine the competition they lost to the previous years. None of those teams are the same. There's no team that's coming up that I fear, really, outside the Rays. The Rays are a team I genuinely fear.
One thing, it's obviously you don't know the butterfly effects, but every Yankee fan, well, not every, but a lot of Yankee fans really hate Giancarlo Stanton. They didn't lose a game when he played last year in the postseason.
Yeah.
Played
That
what?
man is a factor.
Did he play 2 games?
He played
I
5.
think-
Played every game in the Twin Series and played 2 in the Astros series.
Played game 1 and game 5.
Yep.
Those are the games they did win. They weren't because of Stanton. Well,
He hit a home run in game 1.
game 1, he did hit that big home run. That is true.
I would rather have Brett Gardner in left field than him.
Well, yeah, I would too. Put him in
Where's the log off button?
Stanton's playing DH. That's the only argument for that. But
That's with injuries and stuff too. I'm sorry, you can't. There's outside of God willing their health, because I would never wish injury upon really anyone.
except
except
Jesse
Dave
Winker.
Gettleman. except Dave Gettleman, but we'll talk about that later.
Hey, he's recovering from cancer, so settle down over there.
Yeah.
He died from it. But anyways,
We can't release
Podcast just
this.
got canceled.
We can't
His
release this.
GM skills died with it.
Jesus Christ.
All
We'll
right,
get into that next podcast.
let's do some
outside of LeMahieu and Glaber, there's not one guy on that roster that's been consistently healthy.
Luke. I don't know if Voigt got hurt.
In the
Got a
lineup or the roster?
No, that entire team of guys who are going to be playing in the postseason. There's
Well,
not.
the bullpen. The bullpens.
I'm talking about players, though. Because if you're starting, you're not going to. The
The
bullpen's going to
bullpen
get
is people
washed
too.
and overused. I
Yeah.
understand. The
Gardner's
bullpen
not
didn't win you the
injury
playoff
prone.
series last year, did it?
Gardner's not injury prone. I don't consider Gio Urshela injury prone. He just wasn't good enough to be on a team the last couple of years.
He got hurt once last year.
He got like
It wasn't a while.
nagging weird injuries. He never.
Yeah,
got,
he
I
was
don't think
out
he
for,
really
like-
went on DL, to be honest.
He went on the 10-day DL, but he was like,
Yeah, he's not like missing a big stretch like some of your other.
it was like
Are we really going to
retroactive.
think Gio Urshela is going to repeat what he did last year?
No.
You never know.
No, he'll hit like
He'll
two.
regress, but I think he'll still be a
But
very
remember,
good defender.
they have
He's,
Miguel
he's,
and
he's not
they
a good
also-
defender.
Gio.
That's Gio Urshela is one of the most overrated defenders in baseball. Look at his stats.
He
Look at his score.
doesn't. His
Look at his
range.
defensive run save.
His range is not great.
He doesn't
He
have.
makes all the plays you want him
Yes.
to make, which is fine when you go from Gio Urshela to Miguel Andujar. 'Cause
He
Miguel
doesn't
Andujar
make-
Fine,
literally-
but you're also telling me you don't want Andujar's bat in a game 6 or 7 atmosphere and a
must-win game. Everybody's healthy. I want Miguel Andujar DHing, and then you throw Stan out on left. And figure
Yeah,
it out.
who is Aaron Hicks? I mean, when is Aaron Hicks going to be back? He's
Aaron
know.
Hicks was supposed to come back around July, August.
yeah, but you guys know firsthand that those position players aren't if they're not 100%, don't play well because Didi Gregorius did not
He
play
was
well coming
not
back
the-
after that
he
Tommy
was
John.
not the
I
same
don't
last
think
year.
it's because he rushed himself back. I think if he waited till the point that Hicks is probably going to wait till, which the Yankees learned their lesson and Didi probably learned his lesson, I think it would be less of a problem.
I
For
don't
the
think
lucky-
you
for the-
understand how taxing a Tommy John recovery is.
That's completely
you're-
different compared to your recovery.
No, it is.
That's
Tony's
pitcher.
recovery compared to these guys who are getting professional, done by the best doctors in the world, recovered with some of the best medical staff in the world, and having someone that sit there and pretty much do the rehab for them.
My physical therapist is the Albany guy. All right, I don't want to hear.
Exactly. Yeah. So I wonder how much the Albany physical therapist guy makes compared to the Yankees athletic trainer, Trevor.
Jimmy, my surgeon was the Yankees doctor, actually.
That's,
And I
but
recommended,
were you recovering with the Yankees organization after you had the surgery?
not with the Yankees organization, but the recommended physical therapist who was good friends with the Yankees doctor, where Artie Lewicki, Rob Kaminsky, Kobe Bryant even works with this guy. So he was a top of the line guy.
Worked.
No, not dropping any names, are we?
Hideki Matsui.
Christ. This
Every-
podcast is taking off. We're going to have to put a fucking mute button on Jimmy.
All right, let's do some awards real quick. AL MVP, NL MVP. What do you got?
I got Mike Trout and Freddie Freeman.
Very good. I like that. Freddie Freeman.
I got Ronald Acuna and Matt Chapman.
Give me Ronald and Trout.
Jim.
Trev?
I've got Glaber and Acuna.
That's a take.
Labor Torres.
And Homer.
Embrace debate.
Unless Glaber can seriously improve his defense, I don't think he'll get the votes. Even
Labor's
if he
never
has
going to get the top highlight on his team with Judge and Stanton being around.
Nah, he's
It's not going to happen.
No.
if
And
Stan's
Glaber,
healthy, yeah, he'll get vote. He'll probably be more in the discussion, but
But it's the same reason why
And
DJ
Glaber
May was the best
also
player on
has
the
like
Yankees
280.
roster last year, and he wasn't even a finalist for the MVP award.
I like Glaber. I really do. Jimmy, what do you got?
I got my
Either one,
National League one. I'm not 100% with my. I know. I mean, I'm gonna just jump on the Trout just because Trout's actually gonna have some sort of protection, and I only see his numbers getting better with Rendon being behind him or before him in the lineup. National League, I think is an open race. I honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Mookie Betts won the National League MVP this year.
Oh, who picked
Well-
Trout? Tony and Will, right?
What happened? I picked
You
Trout.
picked Trout, right?
yeah.
If it's not, so take Trout out of the discussion. Who do you think?
I'm going to go.
Alex Bregman.
No.
it's not that bad.
It's gonna sound like a homer pick, but Aaron Judge.
Shut up.
He's
Nah.
gonna win a Gold Glove this year, probably
No,
at
he's
the
not.
season.
He's not gonna win a Gold Glove if he plays 65 games.
It's all health, like perfect season. He's healthy. I think he's maybe the best right fielder in baseball.
Cody Bellinger. I'm a Yankee fan. Cody Bellinger.
Belly's playing center
He's
this year.
not top 3 at his position.
Dude,
That.
this is a hot take, but Matt.
He's not. He's
Matt-
not better than. He's not better than
Matt
Bellinger.
Olson.
Well, now it's Mookie. So is Mookie gonna play right or
Bellinger's
center?
Jimmy,
playing.
shut up.
Hold-
Jimmy, shut up.
Hold
for a
up,
second.
Jimmy.
Did you say
What
Matt
did you say?
Wilson?
I said don't sleep on Matt Wilson of the Oakland A's.
Jesus, I got the other man on the A's.
He's a solid defender. Could hit 45 bombs, over 110 RBIs. Like, I mean,
We're putting this in the 162. We have to put it in perspective. This might be like 100.
right.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just that one dude to get hot.
It's bold.
Some
I mean,
dude comes out of
that's
the
what
gate,
happened.
cooks.
That's why Yelich, not Yelich. Yeah, that's why Yelich won his year. I mean, he got hot the last month and went and beat Bellinger.
He was hot the whole
Cy
year,
Young.
right?
Garrett
Just
Cole and
took that step for the last month to kind of. And Bellinger cooled off after the All-Star break.
Fair.
Well, both are true. Both are true.
Cy Young, Tony.
Garrett Cole, Chris Paddock.
Ooh,
Jimmy.
Fuck Chris Paddock, bro. Fuck Chris Paddock.
Jimmy.
that's a
What?
Jimmy, who are your picks?
Jacob deGrom for a 3-peat
Of course.
and
no shot. He's picking Cole. So.
Yeah, he's going to pick like Otani.
Anybody
No.
else other than Cole is gonna try to pick?
definitely not Otani. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I think it's Cole's award to lose, but I feel as though voters will be very, very hard on him if he's not that peak performance. So I think Blake Snell could have a bounce back year and get his name back into that discussion. So I'll go Cole, and if not Cole, Blake Snell.
Harry.
I'm gonna also go Cole, and I'm gonna go Walker Buehler.
Love the Walker Buehler pick. Billy.
I think it's going to be Cole in the AL. I think he wants to prove that money because he's just a freak. And I think Flaherty just keeps building on it, to be honest. He had an unreal second half. Why not just continue?
I have Cole and I have Strasburg. I know he's not on that contract year, but he's going to build off that World Series performance now. I think it'll be Strasburg. Let's go Rookie of the Year.
Nate Pearson of the Toronto Blue Jays and Joey Bart of the
Who?
Joey Bart.
He's gonna get up
Oh, the
there?
catcher from San Francisco.
I don't know if he's going to get up there, though.
Nah, I don't know if he's gonna play enough games.
No, I don't think he's going to play.
That's just
Jimmy?
my answer.
That's Posey.
That's true. Just not this season.
I want to go last. I'm trying to think of mine.
Go ahead,
I'll
Harry.
go. I'm gonna go Brendan McKay of the Rays.
Does he still have the? He still has.
He still
the
has the
first-
he still has the eligibility.
Okay.
So I looked it up because I didn't know it myself. And then a little bit surprising, I like Sixto Sanchez from the Marlins. He could pitch. He was looking really good when he came up last year.
His prospect card's pretty good on MLB The Show.
Oh, my God. Billy.
Bro.
I don't even really know too many of the NL guys, but I think Luis Robert. They gave him all that money. Eloy Jimenez is saying he's the next Trout. So I think he's probably got the best shot. I don't really know. Is Joe Adele coming up this year?
So that's my pick for the AL is Joe Adele. And then my NL guy is Gavin Lux.
Yeah. Lux is
Let's see.
Yeah.
Lux
I- Lux was definitely going to be my National League guy outside of if Ian Anderson gets called up or not.
guy. Listen, the biggest Ian Anderson guy is speaking right now. He's not winning NL Rookie of the Year.
If Ian Anderson starts for a decent part of the season, there's no reason in my mind that, especially if the Braves win, like you guys are talking about, and he's being a reason why they're winning, same reason why Pete Alonso got the nod over Tatis, even when Tatis was healthy, because the Mets were winning when that kind of whole trend started for the voting. There's no reason why he couldn't win the award. Maybe not 2020, maybe in the future. And American League, I'm with Will. I think it's Robert's award to lose, especially if he's going to come up and play 150 games
Okay.
in center field. And if you guys think the White Sox are going to be good, that'll be another nod in his direction as well.
Manager of the Year.
I got Dave Roberts and Rick Renteria.
From Boston?
Chicago.
No, that's Ron
They
Rennick.
got White Sox. White Sox.
Ron
That's
Rennick.
Renicky. It's Renicky.
Jesus Christ, Tony.
Nobody's fault you're an idiot.
My manager of the year, I think Bob Melvin has deserved it many years. Finally, the year for Bob Melvin, and David Bell of the Reds, I think, gets in the NL.
Well,
I think like any other year could have been Aaron Boone. Like, say he wins another 100 games, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but that's
Any-
expected.
Last year was the year for Boone, and the expectations are way too high at this point.
Yeah.
If any year he was going to win, it was last year.
But I mean, I think any of those smaller market guys like Melvin or Cash are always a good bet. Then the NL, if the Reds come out and play as well as people kind of think they do, maybe win the division, I think David Bell's got a real shot.
yeah. My original pick was Booney, but who's in Minnesota?
Last
Rocco.
year.
He won it last year.
Yeah.
Rocco Baldelli.
Oh,
Rocco.
I like Melvin. Baldelli could be up there. But then I also have David Bell too. For the NL. Jimmy?
I have Kevin Cash again. I think the Rays are going to push the tempo with the Yankees, and then the National League. I think it's a toss-up, really based on the what ifs that we've been talking about. Whether it's between David Bell, the Red Sox manager, I'm just blanking on his name, and Luis Rojas of the New York Metropolitans.
Another 518 guy, which I know Will knows about, but the bench coach went to Bethlehem.
Yeah.
The Rays.
Oh, yeah, Catrara. I actually fun story. He used to give me hitting lessons because my friend from high
What
school,
happened?
his mom, I don't know, he's clearly not good at the job, but
Get him on the pod.
get him on the pod. Yeah, I got his number actually. I can text him. But no, my guy, best friend from high school. His mom was his kid's pediatrician, so we were able to get the hookup, and he was, I don't know, he wasn't anything special. Good guy. He almost got the Pirates job.
Yeah,
If his ears catch this hair, we have no chance of getting him on the pod, asshole.
No, God, no. If he found out that I got benched in the state championship game, he's not going to be happy with.
He graduated from high school with my mom, so they know each other pretty well. And we used to live next door to his mom. But he almost got the Pirates job, and then
I think I interviewed for the Giants job.
Yeah.
San Francisco, we got a second interview with.
They were always going to hire Gabe Kapler. Him and Farhan Zayadi. I'm pretty sure they're in love. They have a relationship on the side.
Oh, Kapler. Oh, I forgot Kapler was at the San Fran now.
He's not even in
Manager
contention.
baseball.
for that award.
Worst manager in baseball, Gabe
He's
Kapler.
in contention to win 70 games and keep his job. That's about as all he should be
my
shooting for.
God,
All right, move
Kapler.
on to our final topic as we're pushing about an hour 15 here. We're all gamers in here. Harry said he doesn't have it, but
I'm just here to look pretty.
MLB The Show. It came out a little over 6 weeks ago. What do we think? Tony?
I thought at the beginning, like the first week or so, the hitting was great. You would get rewarded on perfects, like PCI placement, but they kind of patched it a little bit. So there's not as much good contact, a lot of good OKs in the PCI, which frustrates the heck out of me and a lot of other people.
Dude, good OKs and good pops literally were the
Good pops are your sole problem because you hit with directional.
Bro, the only reason I do that is because if someone throws me a pitch that is anywhere near the middle of the zone, I'm hitting it out, guaranteed.
Yeah, but no one's throwing a middle fastball that has
You'd be
any sort of
surprised.
ability to play a video game.
You'd be surprised.
And we could all talk about how I won't use curse words, how bad the fielding is.
How fucked up the fielding is. This
Yeah.
shit is not censored.
They just put a patch in it, and hopefully that will fix it. Because,
It did.
I mean, if we weren't all in quarantine, who knows if we'd really be playing it too much, to be honest. Because the game's kind of broken, to be honest. But
I think personally the stats are broken for some of the players too. I don't see the digression in certain stats on some of the players. Like Francisco Lindor's speed is under 55. That makes no sense to
Yeah,
me.
Glaber shouldn't be a 45 speed. Changed my mind.
It's
Yeah,
sort of
but
like
Glaber's not a burner. Glaber's not a guy who gets on first base as a threat to steal second. That's
he had a
irrelevant.
couple bags last year.
Yeah, a couple. Lindor could steal 30, 40 bags a year if he wanted to. If he's
No,
healthy.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
I
but
think
Glaber's speed is completely different than that.
fielding
the
is
fact that-
also broken in that game too because I've realized that it doesn't matter what your steal rating is. If you get anyone in that game can get a horrible jump.
Mhm.
Anyone.
Bad timing. It's mostly the user though. You gotta click it yourself.
The best thing they've done is just the content. They're just putting new stuff into the game every day. I mean, I've been grinding the new Team Affinity stuff today. But
Is that why your eyes are red? Puffy.
always
Finish up here talking about the new Future Stars cards. Which one that you're looking forward to playing the most?
I've been grinding for that Alec Bohm because I know I'll get him eventually.
The 50 win, the event one?
Yeah, I'm a Yankees fan, so I knew as soon as I saw Clark Schmidt was even going to be an option, I knew I was going to get him first. And then that Nate Jones for he's on Indians. He looks pretty good.
No, Nate Jones is the Indians one is the third baseman that can also play first.
Nolan something, Nate, I don't know. Nolan Jones.
Nolan Jones. Yeah, he's nasty.
I think the one I'm probably most excited for is probably the Kevin Smith one, just because he's from the 518. I think that's just kind of sick that they kind of put him in a game.
That's what I was debating about with myself is do I even bother with the Kevin Smith card because he's only a 90?
Only.
He's the worst.
Look at all these future cards. He's the worst card.
Yeah, but it's still cool. You can pull up and you're playing kids online or whatever, and you're like, I'm raking with a kid that is from my area. Same way y'all were hyped when we thought it was going to be Ian.
Yeah.
For the Braves.
But if Ian had a card, it'd be like a 92, 93.
It'd probably be higher, to be honest.
The grind for him, because I play this game nonstop, and he just was never going to have a spot for me on the roster. Is my biggest problem with it.
He's also playing third base, and you can get Nolan Gorman, Nolan Jones, and I believe there's 3 other cards that are available.
There's a ton of third basemen. I mean, everybody in the game by this point's probably got Eddie Matthews on their roster.
I don't.
Well, you're a bum.
I don't either.
Trev, you're banned. So
we don't talk about that.
I just choose not to have him.
Interesting choice. Free 92 overall.
I'll take my cargo card any day of the week.
Oh, I have all 4. So.
Yeah, well, we're not all as good as you. What, guys? Anything else to add?
Nope.
No.
What's the topic going to be for next time so we can prepare and take notes?
You want to go Sunday night? We'll record. We'll do an NFL one. Wrap up. We'll do a draft recap.
We should just make this like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night thing, and then have it come out during the week.
There's no sports. How are we gonna do 3 nights a week?
That's a lot, bro. There's no sports. I think
I say we do this
sports. We'll shoot for once a week, and we'll release on Sunday.
There is no sports. That's what I'm saying. No, I know none of y'all got nothing better to do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna keep predicting baseball.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if there's I think we should just do next one we'll do NFL, and then the next after that just do current events.
About NBA.
And we could do NBA too, yeah.
The NFL one will be next. We'll record on Sunday night. As for right now, we'll probably just drop one episode a week on Sunday.
Wait. We can't record on Sunday night. My Last Dance comes out every Sunday.
Oh shit, you're right.
Oh, he's right. He's right. No, it's not best.
All right, Monday night we'll record. I'll drop the episode Sunday mornings. Hopefully.
Where can they find them?
They'll be on YouTube. Embrace Debate. I started the YouTube page. Follow us on Instagram. Embrace Debate Pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Throw us a like. Throw us a comment. And like I said, we'll shoot for once a week for right now. Once the season gets started and once everything gets back to normal, we'll try to go for a little bit more. I know it'll be summer for us, so we'll just be sitting inside watching games. So there's that. Like I said, shoot us a follow. Boys, we'll see you next time.
Rate, review, subscribe.
See ya.